today's one of those cold Sundays, and we picked up a car. You guys may have seen this video from the earlier, I guess, yesterday, or maybe Friday, I don't know. But this is part 2 of this car, Project Cialis. Now, I've been talked to, and some guy says to me, I could either name it Project Cialis or Project Iron Dookie, because it's got an Iron Duke. I know you guys are getting tired of seeing me build Camrys. Listen, I'm getting tired of building Camrys, but it's hard to stop building a car that is just as strong as a Camry is. I am so glad I bought this car in the winter because there's so many beehives in this car. That is probably the 6th or 7th wasp nest, and then there's a mud wasp nest that I've already ripped out, so I'm kind of happy about that. So, would you guys prefer Iron Dookie or Project Cialis? But yeah, we're just starting to tear into it. Now that it's daylight, I'm starting to see how actually rusted this car is. Now, I will not be running this car. The event that I want this car to go to, I already have a Camry going to. But I will have a camera inside this car. It will have a build series just like this. Maybe not as in depth as a Camry ones or some of my other ones, but it will have a build series. But as of right now, I'm just starting to strip it so we can get an overall look at it. Last night I did get it to run before I found out that it had a huge fuel leak. So we will not be attempting to get it to run today. We might, get the fuel lines cut in preparation of the gas tank coming back, because as a good friend I lend out a lot of my stuff to other friends and I still don't have them back. So I've asked a couple people if they have stuff of mine. 3 of them have said yes, so I will be getting 3 gas tanks back so I can put one in this. Now this one here is a feed and return system, so my newer Camry stuff that is just a feed with no return will not work in this. So, even the fuel system is a lot different than what I'm used to. Nice center punch there. I'm gonna keep that. But we're gonna get this thing stripped down today so we can get a good overall look at it, how rotted it is, stuff like that. Last time this was on the road, 2006, and this is 2019, so 13 years. 13 years this has been off the road, and I legitimately threw a battery into it and it started right up, which I was pretty impressed with. Not gonna lie, I was pretty impressed with that. But now, let's get this thing stripped so we can get an overall look at it, because these are an end body, I believe. I'm not 100% confident on that, but I'm pretty sure this is an end body. And any GM from the early 90s, late 80s is horribly design flawed when it comes to rust. So let's see what kind of shape this thing is overall, and we're going to continue stripping from the back forward. We're going to leave the windows in because it's going to snow. Actually, it already has snowed, but it's going to snow again. Well, today's a quite snowy day. We got it stripped last night. We kind of finished near the dark, so I didn't make a video. Rear bumper came off when we tried to pull it off the trailer because the 2 rear tires are seized, so that's going to take some attention. Some stuff I don't like about this car. Oh, look at that, they will open. I already got a battery box sitting in here. It's out of my Camry, but I don't like that. I don't like that seam all the way up there. I don't like this seam. We all kind of know what's going to happen to the back of this car. So I need to come up with a better cage design than your average design. So
I'll probably just be thrown together, but you know what, there's one cage that just sticks in my mind, and we're probably going to go check that out tomorrow and see what they say about that. But you know what, the car's a little bit more rougher than I thought, but the wiring's pretty easy. Taking the car apart was really easy. Carpet was a little thicker than Toyota Camry carpets. It's kind of hard to see in here, but driver floor is a little bit crap, but passenger floor is pretty good. But that's the part I'm super nervous about. Underneath the hood, we got that stripped out quite easily. Pretty sure I took the hood latch off. Yes. So underneath the hood, we have stripped out pretty good. We got the gas tank out as well. I just have to hook up the fuel line. Still waiting for one of my Derby tanks to be returned, and then we can go from there. But she's pretty much stripped to the point where she's ready to go into the Derby. Now, this is not a Camry, and how rotted it is, it's making me pretty nervous. Don't exactly know how this is going to go, but I'm thinking that I need to do a little bit different cage than what I normally do. And one of my buddies built a cage there for Owen Sound that I really liked. So like I said, we might go check that thing out, but this is what we got, and this is what we got to deal with. So we're here in the snow. The wind chill says it's about -13 today. That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And the reason we're here is because this is a competitor's car from Owen Sound, and there's just something about this car that I cannot let go. What I mean is, with that Buick I got, this car here, as you can see from the body, it was pretty rotted. You can see the rocker's gone, and GMs are very, very well known for the whole back ends ripping out, especially like this on this Cavalier. The axle's straight, but the car's so twisted that doesn't even matter anymore. The rear speaker deck, where your struts bolt to, should be right about here. So that's been pushed in 2.5, 3 feet. The entire floor is ripped out. See, everything in the floor is gone. But what I can't stop thinking about is this. And what do I mean by this is they almost stopped him inside the Derby ring because of how bad the back end of this car was. And I agree, the back end was bad. I was like, they're gonna stop him. But they didn't. And the reason they didn't is because he has everything hung from the ceiling. Now, mind you, he could have had better welds and bigger tabs and a gusset, but he doesn't. That's not the point. The point is, what I'm saying is, if he didn't have his cage like this, they would have not have let him run. So, this is what I'm planning to do for the Buick. I'm planning to mount, the battery probably could go to the floor. I could imagine that, but for the purpose of this, I'm thinking this works. So you had a post to here, to the passenger one. Again, very small, thin post. This was not reinforcing the car. It was just one of the most interesting cage designs I have seen this year. The entire floor is gone, but he was still able to keep going. So let's go take a look from the driver's side. He's got his battery up real high, which keeps it off the floor. And let's go take a look at the driver's side. Again, on the driver's side, you can see the floor completely ripped out all the way across. And I really think this is what's going to happen to the Buick. But if you take a look, he's just got the seat bar coming across with the gas tank bracket welded to the bottom of the seat bar. And then it goes up to the roof as a support. Now, the rules do state that you can't have anything go to the floor, but they don't state you can't have anything go to the roof. So that's why I think this is a very good gas tank protector, is in the fact of if the floor is that garbage, then it's an emergency backup kind of thing, right? Now, it does not actually add to the strength of the car at all, but like I was saying, they were going to stop him. They were going to stop. They stopped the Derby, threw a red flag. The officials came out and inspected this car, and if he didn't have his gas tank like this, they would have DQ'd him. And he would have got, I think, 5th or maybe even 6th. But because of this cage design, and how rotted the car was, he got second. So this is what I think I'm going to try to do for the Buick. I think I'm going to try to make it so that the cage is completely floating with a bar up to the ceiling as my gas tank protector. We'll see if it works. I'm not exactly sure, but there's no way I'm going to attach the gas tank to the floor in that Buick. This is the car from Owen Sound that just would not die. He didn't have doubles on. The frame's bent to crap. This was a very tough car. I think what ended up happening was the transmission split in half, but very stock car. He's even modified the shifter in it. This guy here built everything himself, and he's starting to get into the derby world, which is pretty cool. He knows his way around cars, but he's just starting to get into the derby world. He's done like 4 this year, and he tells me he's hooked. But I'm just saying, this is a cage design that was worth noting, and it's still stuck in my mind about how this cage actually worked very well for him. And if he didn't have this, he would have been DQ'd much quicker, and he wouldn't have made it to second place. So sometimes it's all about thinking outside the box, and I think I'm going to have to do this with the Buick.